Good morning, everyone. Bore da. Bienvenue, willkommen, welcome, continuing the European theme. One of the benefits of following your Cabinet Secretary is that a lot of what you were going to say, particularly around issues around the B word, which I won't mention, have been said. So that considerably shortens my presentation, which is probably good news because we're running over. Okay, but so a brief run through then. I'm the head of the Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency branch. I run a team that is 7 people, I think, altogether. I lose track, and quite a few of them are here today. So Amanda, Sarah, and Bethan, if you want to wave, if you don't want to stand up, yes. I've been here since August 2017, so I'm still learning the lingo in many ways. Right. So I'm taking things out that I would have said, that have been said. We are the Welsh European Funding Office. We're part of the Welsh Government. Mark Drakeford is in fact our Cabinet Secretary. As been mentioned, he's responsible for the European Structural Funds. We're the managing authority for the Structural Funds and the Isle and Wales programme. We also have units that are involved in Horizon 2020 and in a lot of the territorial cooperation programmes, Atlantic Arc, North West Europe as well. If anyone wants any contacts with those, if you get in touch with me, I can put you through to the necessary contacts within WEFO. One of the things that Cabinet Secretary did mention was around the work that's been done in terms of following on from transition from Europe and the development of the regional investment post that time. And WEFO strategy policy colleagues have had quite a lot of input into that. So we're not just a funding body, we do other things as well. Getting into the meat of what we do and around priority. Oh, sorry, I'm not moving the slides on. Yeah. Yeah, and I'll move on to the next one. Thank you. So I head up ERDF Priority 3, which is part of the ERDF programme. And within that, we have specific objective 3.1, which is marine energy, renewable marine energy. Our priority for my 100.4 million euros is developing the emerging marine energy sector. Now, we've heard from David, we've heard from the Cabinet Secretary, and it's all those areas. We are focused at the moment in terms of supporting developers, developing, testing, dunking devices in the water, and also in terms of the development around the demonstration zones in Morlice and in Pembrokeshire. But our programme does let us support site preparation, shore-based facilities, connections, surveys, so it's wider than perhaps what people might imagine. So I'd encourage everyone to go and look at our operational programme. What our role is, just to finish that bit off, what we're after, and again the Cabinet Secretary has stressed this, is we're looking to use that fairly small amount in the big scheme of things, of 100.04 or 100.4 million euros, to promote jobs growth that have long-term sustainability and to enable and develop the supply chain. Our funding doesn't perhaps directly go into the supply chain, which is something that David picked up, but Welsh Government more widely, and with my previous hat on, of course there's the Business Wales Network, the Wales Business Fund, so there are links there, and again, if there are sort of organisations out there who aren't particularly aware of those, you can always come to me and I can direct you to colleagues in Welsh Government who can do that. Also, I see John Bradshaw is here from the sector group over there, and he will do the same, and he's known to many of you. Okay. Our role is to challenge you. If you have got project ideas for operations, our role is to challenge. This is public money that we're dealing with. This is your money, it's your money, it's his money, it's her money. And, you know, we have a duty to look after this and make sure it's invested wisely. So we will challenge you. What we're looking for is you to be able to demonstrate added value. And we're also wanting to see that you can sort of lay out what opportunities are there to maximise the long-term sustainable economic benefit for Wales. Next slide, sorry. I won't dwell too much on these. These are all figures that are in the public domain. My 100 million euros at the moment turns into 85.8 million pounds. It's only 20 past 10. I don't know what the exchange rate will be later on today, so it could be more, it could be less. I did hear that the pound is generally strengthening, so we might be sort of stuck at that for a while. I made a note here, picking up from some of the comments that have already been said, is that, it's interesting to hear, and sort of coming relatively new to this, I hadn't picked this up, but there is a lot of goodwill, good feeling, good understanding towards Wales. I met with some people from Sweden yesterday, and they were telling me how they look to Wales as being a centre of excellence, and they can see the benefits in working between your region and our region, and that's been stressed again by Felix and in a number of other conversations or presentations that we had today. So I won't dwell on that. The next slide, like the Cabinet Secretary, there's always got to be a list of these things. These are all in the public domain and on our website, but these are the operations in marine energy that we've already approved. We also have a strong pipeline. I'll go on to the next page for that. We'll get on to that. We do have a strong pipeline, and on paper, the pipeline that we have could actually take up all the money that we've got. However, we do know that not all projects that come in as project ideas come to fruition. And one of the things I wanted to do here today was just to refresh people's memory, just jog their interest. And so, if you have got a viable project idea that fits with specific objective 3.1, come and talk to us. We're very willing to talk to anyone and go through our process with you. So that's one of the reasons we're here. The timescale, again, Cabinet Secretary touched on this. We are still members of the European Union. We are going to be members of the European Union until the 29th of March 2019, and I think 11 p.m, which is the, and that's a GMT issue, I understand, yes. We have in place what's called the Her Majesty's Treasury Guarantee. What that basically says is projects that we as WEFO have approved and committed, formally committed funds to by that date, the Treasury will honour if we've left the when we leave the European Union. Obviously, there's talk now about a transition period. We don't yet know what that means. So we are still having to work to the 29th of March 2019. So there are timescale pressures on us. Unfortunately, that runs on to you people out there. There's timescale pressures on you as well. But we are still open for business, and I would encourage anyone to come and talk to us. This is going to be a short conversation because I think David's touched on quite a few of these already, and again, Cabinet Secretary covered off a lot of it. The revenue issue, contracts were different, the innovative power purchase agreement. I think we all understand what the issues are with that. And Martin, you were telling me you were there yesterday, with the, and you might be able to tell us about that later, which would be good. Yeah, that was in the at the Wales evening that Albert Owen MP hosted, I think, in Parliament. Yeah, Anglesey Day, that was it. Yeah. Something I've learned is that the actual consenting process, gaining consents, is a longer process than perhaps certainly I was thinking it was. We have good relations with our colleagues from Natural Resources Wales. I can see one sitting over there, and we try and build on that. So we do work closely together. We try and work as a team with developers, Natural Resources Wales, Crown Estates to bring these things to fruition. Match funding is an issue that's probably linked to the revenue issue. If you haven't got a sustainable revenue source coming in, it can be difficult to attract private sector capital investment for this early stage development. Okay, the last one I've put there is compliance, and it's just to, I'm saying the obvious, and some people out there know this already, but this is European funding. We will support up to 70%. That's the state aid limit. My actual intervention rate is about 69.4% at a priority level, but 70% is the state aid limit, depending on technology readiness level and the size of the company that we're supporting. There is a burden. I mean, I won't beat about the bush. There is a burden. You need to have good evidence, good audit trails, to be able to claim the money from us. But we are here to help. You know, any issues that any of you have now or in the future, please contact us, the team that you know, or myself, and we will try and work out and come out to what resolution there is. Okay, and there's the next slide. And those are our contact details up there. I kept this purposefully short because I knew it was the last of the presentations and people would want to get onto their coffee. So thank you very much for your attention. We're about all day if you want to come and ask us any questions and talk to us. So thank you.